Now that we've done a high-level introductory background on what investing is and how you make money through investing, we need to talk about the pros and cons. Positivity first, so let's talk about the pros. Think back to what we call the savings killer, which is inflation. One way you can stay ahead of inflation is by earning more money. That might be an option if you work in a high-demand field, but in most cases, you might find that there's a limit to how much your employer is willing to pay you. That's why investing is important. You might not be able to earn more money from your employer, but you can invest the money that you're earning now to stay ahead of inflation in the future. This means that you're going to have to avoid spending some of your money and you're going to have to delay that gratification until later, but trust me, it is well worth the sacrifice. So how can we beat inflation? The best way to do it isn't to just save your money stashed away in a bank account. It's by buying assets, by investing in the market. When I say assets, I'm talking about things like stocks, bonds, real estate, gold, and many others. Unlike money, assets not only hold value, but usually grow in value over time. This growth can help you increase your wealth and protect you from inflation. Think of this in terms of buying that new phone that we talked about earlier. 5 years ago, a basic iPhone model would cost you $699. If instead of buying a new iPhone, you decided to buy shares of Apple stock, your $699 from 5 years ago would today be worth over $2,900. This is because the value of Apple stock increased 315% over the previous 5 years. If you then decided to sell your shares of Apple, you would have more money than you originally purchased the stock for. That's considered a positive return on your investment because you'll walk away with profit. The profit you made was because of the conscious decision to delay the instant gratification and instead invest those savings to eventually make you more money. The key word is delayed because the benefit you receive from investing today is in the future. This is why this concept can be really hard to grasp because it's not something that you can tangibly touch and feel today. The iPhone you bought 5 years ago will likely have had 5 newer versions released since then. So even worse, you'll again be tempted to buy the newer version and again spend your hard-earned savings foregoing the opportunity to make your money grow in the future. It quickly becomes an unstoppable cycle because every few years, you'll be tempted to replace your old goods with the newer ones. And it is this cycle that keeps most people feeling trapped because they can never get ahead. It's what keeps most people broke. I want to help you to change that mindset. If instead of buying the new iPhone, you spend $699 on buying Apple shares, you go from being a customer of Apple to becoming an owner of Apple. This concept is important to understand because this puts you in a position to benefit from the consumer cycle that I've just described instead of getting hurt by it. Think about it. If Apple succeeds with getting more people to buy new iPhones every 3 to 5 years, as an owner, you'll benefit without lifting a finger. And that's the true secret of the rich. Instead of spending money to buy things that become worth less and less in the future, they're investing in assets that will do the work for them to make more money. That's investing in a nutshell. Let's take investing in real estate as another example. A house in Austin, Texas would have cost you around $245,000 in 2008. Today, that same house is about $549,000. If you had a house to sell, you'd walk away with a profit. But if you're trying to buy a house, it's more expensive now than it ever was before. Owning assets can help protect you from inflation because they increase in value as the cost of goods and services increase in value around you. Assets are also important because they can generate income. This can help you earn money outside of your job to keep up with your own cost of living. Let's say you bought a house in Austin back in 2008 for $245,000, and today you rent it out. The house is not only worth more, but you're able to earn an income by charging rent on it too. Even though the house itself is now worth more than before on paper, unless you sell it, you're not going to see that difference in your bank account, right? But the amount of rent you can charge to your tenants has gone up as the cost of housing has increased. You can see on the screen that between 2008 and 2019, rent prices went up on average 24%. This is why, again, investing in assets is so important. When I think about the benefits, the pros of investing, two major ones come to mind. One, it allows you to grow your money. That's what will allow you to build wealth and reach that true financial freedom that we all want. And two, it protects you against inflation. As we dive deeper into how to build a successful investment strategy, you'll want to keep inflation in the back of your mind. Why? Well, because you want to make sure that the return on your investments are higher than the rate of inflation. For instance, if inflation is at 3%, you want to make sure that you're investing in assets that are growing more than 3%. Understanding how inflation erodes the purchasing power of the money you earn can help you make better financial decisions that are designed to help you build wealth. Next up, we will talk about the cons of investing, since as with everything, it's important for you to know both sides of the coin. So I'll see you in the next lesson.